Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel. This one's going to be a little bit more chilled out on the news that I've currently heard. About 2 weeks ago, the channel was on its enforced break, and I thought I'd talk about that and my feelings on the current era and the news around RTD and stuff. So yeah, let's do this. Yeah, that'll do it. I'll do it nicely. Ooh, jelly babies. Hello there guys. Now before I start the channel, can I just ask you a little favour? Hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really does help the mad little algorithm that YouTube currently has in this tumultuous world that we live in. So if you could do that, that'd be brilliant. Today's going to be a little bit more chilled out, relaxed session. It's not going to be me ranting on about like and subscribe every 2 minutes. It's not going to be me talking professionally or anything like that. It's just going to be you, me, as Whovians, going over exactly what we think of this era. As we learned, Thasmin could be a thing, and I don't know if Chibnall has done it, whether it's two fingers towards the old school or whether he wants to leave the show on a bombshell like he did with The Timeless Child, which ended up being a complete waste of time. But I'll get to something first. After Flux happened, after I watched the finale, I had a day, I think it was about 2 or 3 days afterwards, after I'd done my review, I was going to do videos. You know, will we see Tecteun again? Is Dan evil? And we know he's not. It was just a video that was going to be around, and you know, one of them unbelievably was going to be, should Thasmin happen? It looks like it's going to happen. And I watched Flux from beginning to end. I was quite angry afterwards, and it broke my heart a little bit. And as you can tell, I'm still quite upset about it. Flux had so much potential. Chibnall threw so much stuff at the wall, hoping it would stick. And it was other people's stuff. It wasn't stuff he made. It was stuff he put into his show. The Angels, Sontarans, Daleks, Angels. I think Flux was the highest potential series of Doctor Who we've ever had. I enjoyed the first episode, I enjoyed the second episode, I enjoyed the third episode. The fourth was okay. The fifth was such a mess. I couldn't believe it got released to TV, to be perfectly honest with you, because it felt like such a cluster. And then the finale happened where we barely got any answers. And the whole cheap, you know, they built up Vinder to be such this big thing in Doctor Who, and he was just genuinely a poor bloke looking for his missus, who happened to be pregnant. That's great. But don't you think that's a little bit low bar, considering you said this is going to be the Doctor's greatest ever adventure? The Grand Serpent, what was the point of him? He ended up on a rock in the middle of nowhere. The Doors, oh, don't even get me started on the Doors. Williamson, don't even get me started on the Doors. The tunnels were a complete waste of time just to get to 2021. And I said in videos beforehand, if that was going to be the thing to get them back to 2021, I was going to be quite cross. And when that happened in the first 5 minutes, I was apoplectically cross. I was swearing and everything at the telly. It just couldn't be helped. It's just something in me. I'm ingrained to bull, and that's what that was. It was bull. With the current era, I was highly supportive. I think after about halfway through series 11, it got to a point where I was worried that the show wasn't ready for a female Doctor, and quite clearly it was. I think Jodie's been an alright Doctor. She hasn't been brilliant, she hasn't been superb. She's perfectly adequate, is what I would say. You're going to get castings with shows like this sometimes. Sometimes people just don't work out. And Jodie, it's not that she's worked out. The writer and the producer she's had, I think it's Matt Stevens and Chris Chibnall, have done her a bit dirty, to be quite honest with you. Unless that's her influence on the way, the direction of when she's on set, of how the Doctor should be portrayed, it doesn't suit it. And you could see the difference when it came in Flux. When she was the darker, serious, fugitive Doctor, she was acting like the Doctor. And then suddenly, she's back to bouncing off the walls like somebody's given her something. It doesn't make any sense with her Doctor. And a lot of people have fallen off the wagon of support for the 13th Doctor. And it's a shame, because it's not the actor's fault. It could be to some extent, but it's primarily the writing and the direction in certain episodes that she's portrayed, because she's a person doing a job at the end of the day. But and to be quite honest, with this generation, I needed a break. I genuinely needed a break from the channel, because I was forcing positivity on myself when at the time I'd been seriously ill. I was stressed out, I had all my own personal stuff, and then at the end of it all, my own favourite show, which dominates my bedroom, and I have my own YouTube channel, let me down. And I was a little bit heartbroken, and I needed a break. Usually during the day, I've usually got either a book or my Doctor Who Big Finish audio goes on the go. I gave everything a break. There was even a couple of nights where I didn't stay in my own bedroom, I slept on the couch downstairs, because I needed a break from Doctor Who. I needed a break from everything Doctor Who. And then I found out season 17 came out, the box set. I watched it a few nights ago. I posted a picture on Twitter that I'd received the box set when it came out. And when was it? The 21st, was it? I think it was about a week before Christmas or something like that. Mine arrived a couple of days earlier. And it was wonderful to watch the behind the sofas, because they're the only ones I've watched. I've watched the 6-part Sharda. It's much better than the movie version. But yeah, I needed a break from Doctor Who, and Flux and Chibnall did that. They made me hurt, and I don't think I understand what it's like to be a Star Wars fan now, because I've got somebody in charge that I've gone from feeling sorry for to feeling quite angry about. Because there was an interview back in the 80s that my friend showed me, that Chris Chibnall did, and he was talking about the quality of the writing of the show going forward. I think Colin or Sylvester was the Doctor at the time. I think he's got gall to say that, to be quite perfectly honest, when series 11 is probably the worst series of Doctor Who ever. It looks beautiful, but it's a complete waste of time, because it didn't go anywhere. From The Woman Who Fell to Earth, which was quite meaningful and quite a decent piece of Doctor Who lore, and it was good to watch, to Ragnar of Kalos, which I'll tell you now, I can't tell you what really happens in it, because when I watched it from beginning to end 3 times, and nothing really happens in it. You know, Chris Chibnall, I think, has been a major problem for Doctor Who for a while now, and I'm glad they've let him go and he didn't come back for a series 14. We've got, here's my cat Tiggers coming into the thing, if you're wondering, Tiggy Cam. It's got to be said that I haven't agreed with a lot of things that Chibnall's done. I wanted him to be a little bit more brave and a little bit more forthwith and a little bit more believable in the things that he was doing, because he'd make 2 steps forward with the, I think it was the whole disability with I've forgotten his name, with the young gentleman that was with Graham. I've forgotten his name. See that this is the problem with Chris Chibnall's era. You forget certain characters' names. Like, if I don't think I've forgotten a single character's name in Stephen Moffat's era or RTD's era. It always seems to be Chibnall's era. and it's Tosin Cole who's the actor, but I genuinely forgotten what his character was called, because 9 times out of 10 he was just a yard brush. He just stand there, you know. Fair play, the lad, it's not his fault, but you know, they started off something pure and great with his disability, but they never pursued it. They'd done a little bit in episode 2, they mentioned it when he left, that was it. They didn't push it. And for something that is integral towards the character that you're trying to tell, you should do more. There wasn't much on. I think there was more on Graham's loss of his wife than there was of Tosin Cole's character and his disability. You know, he suddenly went to shooting hoops in season 12 and he was perfectly fine, and it didn't make any sense. And Tosin Cole, he's just one of the things, one of the many things that never got followed through, like the Timeless Child. The watch will get picked up in the centenary. You know that's his plan, because he long-term plans and then it doesn't pay off, and that's the problem with Chibnall's writing. And I think him and Matt Strevens, and I'm hoping he doesn't come back for RTD, or that is going to seriously bite the show in the ass. And I don't usually swear, but that is, it's something. There's something not quite connecting with this era, and it wasn't more obvious than the episode that's just been. It was a decent episode, but I was waiting for something to go wrong, and then something did go wrong. And it shouldn't be like that with Who. Who should be a nutty Saturday afternoon stroke early evening romp in space. It should be good fun. I shouldn't be worrying about it, but I do. It's my favourite show, and when he got announced as writer, Chibnall, I loved Broadchurch. I really did. I enjoyed Broadchurch. I thought we were going to get dark, dingy, and mysterious, and we didn't. We got, I don't know, we got a sort of weird 13th Doctor who doesn't really connect to any of the others, which makes it quite unique in a term, but it's a bit whimsical, you know, the way he's approached it. And then you get to Flux. There was 3 episodes that he wrote, and I would say there was 2, and he did a partnership for the Angels episode, I think were his strongest. But if you were going to go for his strongest episode, I'd probably say it's the first Dalek special after series 11, because I think that's when he actually kicked in. But now, I came back to the channel now because of the simple fact that I've had my break and I'm feeling better, and after watching that episode I do feel a little bit better now after watching Who, but I did need a break. And then I heard the news that the 60th, there's going to be no series before the 60th, by the way. It's going to jump straight into the 60th, and the production is starting in April, the word is, apparently. April filming, and then we'll probably know who the new Doctor is then. So I'm expecting within the next month, could even be announced the day I release this, the new 14th Doctor's been announced. I've got a friend of mine, or a couple of friends of mine who do work there, who are nodding towards a certain sex, and I'm not saying what, because it's their jobs. I'm not saying who it is. No, I'm not doing that. It's going to be an interesting way to go, because they're not taking chances anymore. That's all I'll say. It's going to be an interesting direction to go in, and I'm looking forward to the 60th, because you can trust RTD. At least you get finales with RTD. You don't get any more questions. You don't get, okay, you may have a few plot holes here and there, you know, some major, you know, he has done some stinking episodes in his day, but it's chalk and cheese compared to Chibnall. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a little bit of a news catch up, a personal video to catch up, a lovely chilled and catch up thing. I've got my scarf on, but yeah, I needed a break after Flux. And because all things to me, Doctor Who, it's my favourite thing on the planet, and I do love it. I really do truly treasure it. And to force me to have a break from it just goes to show, if it's doing that to me, by God, what's it doing to some of the other fans? I bet you some of the casual viewers have gone, no, gone. And there's a big thing that could happen in the future, and I'm not that kind of person to sort of push things aboard. And if it does happen, I've got a really bad feeling it is. I think Chibnall is going to land the show in quite a dark place, leaving RTD to rebuild it back up, which isn't right, because nobody agreed with the Series 11, and that's why I don't think he interacts with the fans. I think that's been another thing that hasn't helped his cause at all. Like when Stephen and Russell were in charge, RTD and Stephen Moffat, when they were in charge, at least they interacted with the fans. They got the fans excited. They were dropping, you know, little details here and there that the fans would get excited about. And, you know, it was all about advertising and building the show up, and that's what got the show to where it was for the 50th. I was there in the cinema for the 50th. I was seeing people chanting in the cinema, enjoying Doctor Who. I've never seen anything like that with Doctor Who, ever. And to be quite honest with you, when it comes to the 60th, I don't think we'll get that. It depends who comes in. Do I see 10 and 11 coming? I can see 10 coming. Matt Smith, I think he's busy at the moment. He's busy filming something at the moment. He's got the Game of Thrones thing. I don't think we're going to get him for Doctor Who. Maybe a cameo, I don't know. It'd be nice to throw some classic Doctors in there while they're still here. So yeah, that's my little thoughts, and I just thought I'd do a little simple catch-up video, see how things are. So if you like what I do at the channel, hit that like button. And if you'd like to continue watching me moider, hit that subscribe button. And whatever you're doing today, guys, give one of your loved ones a ring. Tell them you love them. Tell them Happy New Year. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.